will quickly walk you through the agenda. I will quickly walk you through the agenda of today's session. First, we have Kasum C. Badathuluge, the leader of the Tableau user group Colombo, who will be giving an introduction to this session. Then we have a message from the Tableau user group lead of EMEA and APAC, Caroline Yam, and she will be discussing the benefits of user groups. Then we have Mr. Hasitha Dassanayake, the General Manager, Innovations and BI of CDB Finance PLC. He will be sharing his thoughts on and success story on how Tableau solves everyday business problems and challenges. After that, we have a discussion done by Mr. Shashindu Munasinghe, Senior Consultant in Data Visualization at Altria Consulting Private Limited. He will be discussing with us how Tableau can make our lives easier with data visualization. And last item of today's session, we have a raffle draw where one lucky participant will be walking away with a free Tableau e-learning license, which will be valid for a year. But to be eligible for this prize, you will have to stay with us until the raffle draw. And then we will wrap up our session. We have a few announcements also. So with that, we will conclude our session for today. So without further ado, I invite Kasun to give us a quick introduction to today's session. Kasun, over to you.
Hello, everyone. It's very nice to see you all today. We have a very good crowd and we have lots of attendees to this event. So as Buddhini mentioned, this is our second Tableau event. So this time we thought to have a virtual event because of the current situation, and this is actually this user group events are happening all around the world through virtually. So I hope you will get a good understanding about Tableau and what it is and how it is going to help the businesses. So I hope this event will be helpful to you, and we expect a feedback from you as well. So let me take you through a small presentation, what this is and how we are going to conduct this. First of all, let me welcome you all for the user group. So the reason why we initiated this user group in Colombo is that we need to build the Tableau community in this country. So basically, we have lots of user groups in the world. So we thought to start this in Colombo as well. The main purpose of this user group is to build the community, share ideas, and if you have any questions or if you need to find out how to do something through the Tableau sessions, you all can share the ideas and thoughts. So we have certain platforms as well created. So with that, we will continue. Right. So Tableau user group is basically these are the benefits that you all can get, and even Caroline will take you through a few of the things, how this has been done all over the world. So moving forward, So in Colombo, we started this last September. This is our kickoff event, which we had at Movenpeak Hotel. So it was a very successful event, and we had a great audience. So from that, this is the second event, and we are actually planning to do this at least once in 3 months. So basically, where we can all get together and discuss. But even during that time period, we have our Facebook page and the Facebook group and LinkedIn page. We will share that information as well, so you all can join those platforms. About the program, this program is actually is being held more than in 60 countries, right? So there are more than 500 user groups all over the world. So basically, user groups are named after the city. So basically, even in a given country, there can be multiple user groups to build the community. And if you take Asia Pacific region, we have more than 45 user groups across 10 countries. So these are the few logos that you all can see, and these user groups are functioning in a very large scale. So right now we are building up Colombo community, but if you take a community in London, New York, Dubai, cities like that, those communities are very large, very huge. So they are doing events in a different scale. So let's try to build our community as well, and we will be having we are having lots of things planned out in future. And we need a logo too for our community. So if somebody can help me with that, please drop me a message. I would be happy to get a nice logo design for our community as well. And here actually I'm sharing some pictures. These are the community events that which was held in all of the places, and right now this is not happening because of the COVID situation, but before that this is how they have planned all these events. And this is the Tableau community page, so you all can go and join this community page. This is in Tableau website, right? So if you search Tableau community, you can go to Sri Lankan page as well. So register there, because you have lots of professionals and technical people who will be using this page. So if you post a question or an idea or something, and we will have a big audience there. This is like a global community site. And these are the pages or the platforms that we have currently created. So we have created a LinkedIn page and a Facebook group. So LinkedIn page, since in a LinkedIn page people cannot start a conversation, so that is why we created this Facebook group, so anybody can start a conversation. And we believe people are very comfortable to post something on a Facebook rather than on LinkedIn. So that is why we thought to have a Facebook group as well. So join those groups and follow the page. And during the next message you will be receiving, you will get a QR code. So if you have a QR scanner on your mobile phone, you can keep it ready. So when Caroline is giving her message, you can scan the code and directly go to this group and the page. And right, so these are our guest speakers today. We have Caroline, Hasitha, and Shashindu. So you also the agenda. So basically Hasitha will be talking about how Tableau has been helpful in the business processes, and Shashindu will take you through how Tableau is going to make your life easier as a business user or as an analyst, how you will be, getting the benefits out of it. So first of all, I need to thank these guest speakers for accepting our invitation and joining with us today. With this, we would like to show you a small message from Caroline.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Caroline Yam, and I'm part of the Tableau community team. And I'm here to talk about why the Tableau community and why you should be part of the Tableau user groups. So you're in the right place. We're in the Colombo Tableau user group. So this is a great starting point. So a little bit more about me. I mentioned my name is Caroline Yam. I'm part of the community team, and I look after the Asia Pacific region for all community programs. I'll talk a little bit more what those programs are, but essentially my role is connecting the data fam and making sure our community feels supported and enabling all of you to be upskilled, to network, to connect. It is definitely one of the best jobs in the world because I get to work with some of the best people, which is yourself. So here's a snippet or a sample of our Tableau community that was taken from Tableau conference back in 2019. And like I said, I get to work with the best people, which is essentially people like yourselves. Everyone is really open to sharing their knowledge and everyone's really eager to help each other. And that is the power of the Tableau community. And that is the power of user groups. You'll definitely learn something new every single time. And you'll definitely be able to help each other out, which is why I love it so much. It doesn't matter where you are in your Tableau journey. If you're a Zen master, whether you're just starting out, there's going to be something there for everyone. And again, I cannot emphasize how great it is that you're all here today. And definitely tell anyone that you know that's just starting out or has been using it for a while about this user group and the Tableau community. So I talked about the community programs that I look after. Here is a sample overview of all the different programs that we do have. So you've got academic, you've got Zen Masters, forums, ambassadors, user groups, Tableau Public, Viz competitions, which is IronViz. You've got the developer program for those who love to do things a little bit differently, like APIs. You've got brain dates, and then you've also got the data leadership collaborative, which we've only just launched, I think, last couple of weeks ago. But today, we're talking a little bit more about Tableau user groups. And which is where you are right now. So a little bit more on why the community and why Tableau user groups specifically. It is the perfect place to connect with like-minded data rockstars in your local area. So for Colombo, we've got where you are right now. If you wanted to meet other people in the same area, this is the place. If maybe you're stuck on something, you're really racking your brains on a calculation or doing something in the dashboard, something a little bit different, you can always ask at the Tableau user group. This is the perfect place to ask. This is the place to ask. It's a safe place for learning, sharing, and connecting. And I emphasize on the safe place. There are no silly questions. Just ask away, and I assure you someone will be able to answer your question. That is the best part about user groups, is that it's by users for users. So everyone is using Tableau and everyone is most likely has a similar question and can probably help out. It's also about growing and sharing your data journey. So there's no story too big or too small for a user group. Maybe you want to share a really cool tip that you've recently learned, or maybe it's a tip that you've known for a while and you wish you were taught it when you were just starting out. The user group is the best place to do that. And my last point is the Tableau Swag. So everyone loves free stuff. I know I do. And I can't guarantee it for every user group, but there is always the opportunity to win something or possibly get some Tableau Swag, especially when we were in person. So I'll talk a little bit more about what we do have today, which is super exciting. And when I talk about swag, I am talking about what I'm wearing here, or just really depends on what we have, but a little bit more later on. And don't take my word for it on why Tableau user groups. Here I've got some amazing quotes from our prominent Tableau community members. So you've got here Lorna, Jonathan, and Sadal, all very, very active in the Tableau community. They love giving back. And each of them have said that, professionally, personally, the networking, the Tableau community is an amazing place. You're not just learning new skills, you're also growing as a developer, and you're also giving back, which I know people love to do. It not only helps you sharpen your skills, test your knowledge, but it's also a way of teaching others, which I think is a great way of giving back your skills. So I mentioned about getting connected and sharing and asking questions. You may be wondering, where can we do that? Well, we've got the Colombo Tableau user group on LinkedIn. So if you use your mobile phone, you can scan the QR code on the screen now, and it will take you. Definitely post some questions on there, and you can see some great content that's been posted. Or maybe LinkedIn's not your jam. We've also got Facebook. So again, you can scan the QR code or use the URL. You can use this space to maybe post about what you've been working on recently that you really wanted to share. Maybe you want some opinions, or maybe you need some feedback, or you have some questions. Definitely join and tell all your colleagues and friends about it, because this is how the community grows, by our users. So the more people that we have there, the more help that we can get in terms of answering questions, or even just finding new cool tips and tricks. And last but not least, I did talk about some free goodies being given away. For today's special session, we actually have the opportunity for you to win an e-learning Tableau license. So usually this license is valued at $10 USD per month. Today we are giving it to you for free, and you have to stay online for the duration of this user group to be in the draw to win. So definitely stay online. This is something that we don't give out that often. So it definitely
That is the message from Caroline. So our next session is from Hasitha. So let's invite us to join.
Thank you, Kasun. Yeah. Yes. So to start off with, thank you, Kasun and the Tableau team for inviting us, CDB, for this occasion. So we feel honored and we're really happy to share our thoughts on this. I'll just brief on how we have done it and how we went about it. And then there are a few success stories. So what I'll do is I'll just go through one, I think, which has the most impact. To move on with, I think this is, so before I move on to the other areas, so basically our whole story lies on these three pillars. So if you take execution, delivery, and EPS. So these are the three pillars that lies the whole process we had. It could be for Tableau or it could be for any other project. So at CDB, so this is something unique and this is what we have been used to. So the first point or the first pillar is the execution. So mostly the organizations, we talk about planning and we talk about detailed planning and so all those things are there, but when it comes to us or when it comes to CDB, there's a unique thing, that is execution, and we really want to start somewhere. So if we take whatever the things that we do, even maybe right or wrong, so we firmly believe in execution, and we have given the opportunity, we have given the chance, so we always try to execute and take a chance. So one of the key things that we have been considering and that we have been looking, so execution. And we don't say that planning is not important or we are not biased towards planning, so nothing like that. But while planning matters, execution is the thing for us if you take at CDB. Then secondly, the delivery part. So basically execution is all about carrying out the plan, right? So then delivery. So delivery is where the supply, in technical terms, the supply. So once you execute something as people whom are really used to get a return or get a something out of it, so we talk about delivery. So if you take us again, CDB also like delivery or the supply matter. So if we execute Tableau or if we implement Tableau, then the next point is what are we getting from Tableau, right? And so when it comes to delivery, again, we have something more than delivery. We have something called over delivery. So I'll take a small example. Take you all you all may use different phones. So we always love to have different phones, different devices, and I don't know how many options that we have used in a mobile phone, but we really believe in over delivery. Like if you take a phone, I think we have used about 5 to 10% of the phone, but we always go for the new device. Why? Because it has some other features which doesn't have in the older model. So we really believe in over delivery. So again, same thing applies here. If we execute or if we go for a system or whatever we have executed, again, then the delivery matters or the supply matters. So then the last one, EPS. So commonly known in finance as earnings per share, but when it comes to CDB, that is a bit different, where we talk about human emotions, human passion, and human spirit. So whatever the execution is done, whatever the supplies we do, so we always believe without human emotion, without human passion, without human spirit, nothing will be successful. So if we want to continue with something, so this EPS matters. So at CDB, we firmly believe on this. And when it comes to these three pillars, we want all these three pillars to be at mostly at the same level, because if we lose one of them, I think we can't continue with the system that we have generated within us. So these are the three pillars. So if we move on to the next area, I'll just give a brief about CDB, since we have different, I have gone through the forum, so we have different people from different areas. So we, CDB, we have incorporated in 1995, and after 2001, we didn't have anything. Basically, even by 2001, we were a technically loss-making company. And in 2001 only, the current CEO has joined. So he has formed a team. And by 2004, the company has been converted to a profit-making company. And then we were sailing well up to 2008. Again, in 2008, I think everyone knows what happened in the market. There was a global crisis as well as a local crisis in financial institutions, where the Selinco crisis happened, and most of the companies, they were struggling throughout that period. So we also had the same issue, same concern. Then in 2009, again, we came back, and at that time we were 10 billion size in 2009, 2010. And today, when you take 2021, we are a 100 billion company. And not only that, if you take LMD 30 best businesses, we are among the top 30. We are ranked at 24th. And apart from that, we are among the top best corporate sustainability institutions. We are among the top 10 best corporate citizens. And so we have been versatile, and we have been covering, we have been representing all the areas. Then coming back, so in the previous slide, I have just not mentioned about about 2017, right? So 2017, that is the year, latter part of 2017. That is where we have, I think we had, I'll give it as a brief. So we had a strategic planning session, and we have been working with external consultant. So we were looking at 2020 and 2030 decade. And so there, we wanted to do some changes. So there, what we did is, the 2017 I'm referring to. So in 2017, we were we have decided on the next decade. And one thing they discussed is to form a BI unit. So this is about, I'm referring to 2017, latter part of 2017, I'm referring to October, November range in 2017. So at that time, so this suggestion came, and I was attached to finance basically at that time. I was heading the finance, and then I've been asked to take up this. So that is where the my shift to this. And so we have started in 2017 with these external consultants. So we thought of initiating this. So when they were talking about it, if you take they were pushing us on three objectives. Basically, the three objectives in the next slide. It's basically they were focusing on centralization of data, and the other two is supporting business decision making and fraud prevention. So if you take centralization of data, this has been one of the key points, because if you take as a financial institution, what we were doing pre 2017 or pre 2018, what we were doing is we have a whole we have a data sheet. We call it the text download in simple terms. And so that has all the information, from customer information to facilities to everything is on that. So when it comes to a month end, we get this report, And what we were doing is, we had different departments like finance to treasury to operations. They have different data requirements. So they're taking this and they're analyzing on their own. So basically data is running everywhere. Like, we have been pushing data everywhere. So that has been a concern for us since we were growing at a rapid pace. We don't want, like, these are like confidential data. We can't play on these. So we wanted to centralize. So that is one of the key objectives. And then secondly, support decision making. So now, previously what we were doing is, different departments, once they're done with the report, they interpret it. So the storytelling is according to their glasses, their lenses. So we also, like, wanted to have it at a central point and then to have a unique voice. And last, the fraud prevention part, this is like, we all have internal audits and we all have risk departments. But what we want is, like, some data mining and some kind of a more kind of a impactful exercise on this. So those were the three objectives, like in 2017 we discussed. And then if you move on, then so once we decide on these objectives, we realize that, okay, now we have decided to go with the BI unit, and we have three objectives. And then we wanted to see, like, what are the tools that are available. So officially I took this over in 2018 April. So from April onwards, what I was doing is I had three responsibilities. One is to recruit my team and to select a tool and execute and move on, right? So those were the three initial responsibilities I had. So what we were doing is, while I was looking for a person, so with the support of the consultant, I have been looking and I have been going through all the systems that were available, all the tools that were available at that time. So when I was going through, what I found is we had, in our mind, we had like three key, three key factors, basically. So if you take user friendliness, that is one of the key things we were looking. And the other thing was the amount of data, the large number of data we are having. So we want to make sure that, the system was, like, capable enough the tool is capable enough to handle large amount of data. And the security. So those three were, like, has been the key factors that we were looking at. And when we were going through, we came across Tableau, and we realized that I think this is the most suitable for us. And at that time, only I think few people were using it. At that time, there was one financial institution and one telco, like, one of the clients, they were using it. And there were other systems whom are used by other financial and other people as well. But we thought, like, I think, this is the best for us. And last but not least, we were looking at the analytical capabilities and visualizing all those facts as well. So with all these, we have decided to go with Tableau. And so we have selected the tool as well. So now we have the objectives, we have the tool. And so then I wanted to, like, in the next slide, I think I wanted to have kind of a, I don't want to say it as a boundary, but I want to make sure that, we are not diluted, because this is an open-ended thing. When you say business intelligence, it's an open-ended thing. Everyone will come to you and push. Everything will ultimately fall into BI, because, it could be a market thing, it could be an internal thing, or it could be any other thing that may fall into BI scope. So what I thought is to have kind of a scope. So then we know what we are doing and we know how we go about it. So then, since we had a few objectives, so stemming from those objectives, I went through, and so we have we have gone with a scope. So they are like, I kept two parts, like fraud detection and risk modeling on the objective of fraud prevention. And then the other two objectives were like supporting management decision making and the centralization of data. So with those, what I've done is managing customer data, customer lifetime value, and segmentation support. So those three, I took it to a data management, central data managing, and then when it comes to decision making, what I've done is we thought to have near real time and predictive analysis. So likewise, we have developed a scope. So this, I don't think this could be unique to organizations. We can define the scope based on what we do and how we do. So there's no right or wrong answer. So for us, this has worked up to now, but definitely, these might change in the coming years with the areas that we're looking at. Then, if I sum it up to now, so what we have done is we had objectives, we have selected the tool, and once you're done with the tool, then we have gone with the scope. So when we have all these, I'll just give you a brief one on the journey that we had. On the next slide, we have how we came up to now. About so we have started in April 2018. Then April 2018 to January, as I said, I was I have done the recruitments. I have got 2 team members, and then selected a tool. And by January 2019, we came up with the data warehouse. And from latter part of January to I think latter part of March, so we have gone on a test drive with Tableau. So once we were okay with it, on April we have gone April 2019 we have gone live with Tableau, and I think by June we have been created the first dashboard, and then up to now we have done quite a bit of reporting. And initially we have started with 100 licenses and 100 user licenses and 3 creator licenses. By now I think we have increased up to 200 user licenses. So we had a kind of a in a shorter period of time we considerably we have made an impact towards users as well. So on the next slide, so before I move on to the stakeholders, I think I have just given only the plus points. So if you talk about it, there were so many challenges which I have not gone into that extent, but I think I will mention about one thing before I move on to the internal stakeholders. The main challenge is everyone will talk about it when you talk about a peer tool. It's about data cleansing. So as I said, since we had those 3 pillars of execution, delivery, and EPS, yes, all the people say without proper data cleansing, you can't move on. True to a certain extent, but we can cleanse it while we are using it, right? There's no hard and fast rule to cleanse the whole data and to put the BI. So what we have done is, yes, we have done a small kind of a polish up initially, and then we have made it ready to a certain extent, and then we moved on. But we have never waited until the full data cleansing is being done to start over with BI. When you talk about BI, the main challenge they talk about is the data cleansing. So don't worry about it. We have done it. I think we have not done any 100% data cleansing even as of now. I think we are done up to about 50-60%. Still another 40% is there to be cleansed. So then talking about internal stakeholders, as I said, our objective was to centralize data. So once we centralize, all these departments, have become our stakeholders, from recovery to operations to sales to HR to you name it, all have become our stakeholders. So because of that, we took about, I think 12 months to 15 months grace, where we ensured that each and every stakeholder being smoothly transferred towards the centralization process. We have not stopped it immediately, but what we have done is we have allowed them to use it about 6 to 8 months initially, until they are familiar with our reports, until they are familiar with our dashboards. Then only we have stopped the data access from any other sources, unless otherwise it's Tableau. So moving on to the next slide, if you take the current status, so this is where we are now. So we have about 200 plus active Tableau users, and we have done about 40 plus self-analysis dashboards. And like, when it comes to automation, we have done automation towards daily, weekly, and monthly reports. And there are ad hoc reports that we have, there are requests and which we are working towards. So if I sum it up, how we went about it, as I said, from inception, we have we had the key 3 objectives. We have selected the tool, and we have created a scope. And then while we are having the challenge of data cleansing, we have moved on with the reports, and we ended up here. So basically, that is our execution part and where we stand. To briefly give a kind of a success story, since we had different internal stakeholders, I'll give a brief story on recoveries, the impact we have made to recoveries department on the next slide. So when it comes to recoveries, I'll take 1 or 2 minutes to brief how important this recovery function. So CDB is a financial institution. So basically, we deal with other people's money. Basically, it's public deposits. We are taking public deposits and we are lending it. So basically, recovery is one of the key functions we have, and we have a high weightage, and we have a capable recovery staff whom are overlooking our asset portfolio. So how we have made an impact, how we have went about it, I think in the next slide, I just explain how they go about it and the story. So basically, I think our recovery staff, I would say we have about 80 recovery officers along with supervisors and other people. It's about 100 in total. So how they went about it is, previously we didn't have any tools, so they're working on Excel. So as I said, we have something called the text or the text download. So they take from the month-end report, they take the text download. They at the recovery department, they have an analyst. So what he does is he analyzes accordingly towards the zone, the region, the zones, the regions, and then the branches, and then the individual officers. So likewise, he will analyze it, and then he will push it off to supervisors and the recovery heads. They will again, they will look at it, and they will monitor it from the Excel based on the sorting and whatever the things that they do to monitor it. So basically, so this the best part of this is, so they take every morning they take this Excel and they go to this Excel. If you say I'm the recovery officer, if I have given 10 calls or 20 calls yesterday, and I have made 10 visits yesterday, so what I do is I'll take all those 30 followed up contacts, and then I'm going to the system early in the morning, and I'm checking the system and updating in the Excel. Checking the system, updating in the Excel. So checking the system, updating in the Excel. So this is about good 1.5 to 2 hours process early in the morning. So they take from their validating time and they just update it in the Excel, right? So this is how they have been doing it. So what we have done is the BI. So basically, we have offered them the dashboards, and some certain dashboards are almost like near real-time dashboards, and they have some alerted options. So likewise, we have offered different things. But here, the most important thing that we have done is when we were developing these dashboards, we made sure one representative, I think, he was the analyst and the head at the recoveries department. We took him, and whatever the dashboards we do, first we have pushed it to the relevant analyst at the recovery department, and we got his consent saying, okay, these are in line with the requirements. So once we are ready, only we have pushed it to the supervisors. When they are okay, when they say okay, they are fine with it, then only we push it to the live. Otherwise, we have never gone about it, because we have never pushed a report to live and taken it back. So we had a kind of a QA process. We have ensured that everyone is okay with it before go live. If you move on to the next slide, so what it says is like where we have started basically. So we had different reports. We had global reports, we had regional or zone level reports, and we had branch and officer level reports. So what we were doing is initially we started with the global reports because the accessibility of the global reports is for a limited crowd. So what we done is we have made sure those global reports, those are in line. So once we are in line with the global reports, it was very easy for us. It was very easy for us to go to the region and the zone level, and then to the branch and officer level. We were like pushing it accordingly. So so this basically gives the idea like how we have went about it. So if you move on to the next slide. So this is the current status of the recoveries department. Actually, now they don't know how to handle from the if we ask to like go back and go to the previous mode of monitoring recovery, I think it'll be a nightmare for them for sure. Now, since they are used to it as much as they do, so they have been very successful, and they are now. If you talk about EPS, the emotions, passion, and the spirit towards this, it's very high, and they are really focusing and they're really moving on with this. So if you move to the last part of it, so impact on the result. As I said, so they were handling Excel, and if I roughly give an indication the impact that we have made. So I'm talking about 2 hours for a day, checking the system, updating the Excel, checking the system, updating the Excel. So it's about 2 hours because they have to go to the system, they have to check the history of the customer, they have to get information, updating the Excel, whether they have made the payment or not. So this is taking about good 2 hours, say 2 hours. So if you talk about 20 working days, so it's about 40 man hours, right? And I'm talking about 100 people. So 40 man hours into 100 people, it's about 4,000 man hours, right? So 4,000 man hours divided by 160, you will get about 25. If you forget about everything else, the capacity has been increased by 25 people. So previously, if you had 100 people, now the capacity is you're working with 125 people, right? So that's the impact we have made to the recoveries department division. So I think their efficiency, their capacity, so everything has been improved and enhanced. So they are really, I think the policy of us is as I said, the over delivery as well, because now they are happy about this, but we make sure, when they go to the recoveries dashboards, they have sometimes, there are dashboards, they're only looking at every 6 months or sometimes every 1 year, but we make sure that, even that they have. Otherwise, they may feel like, this is obsolete. So we don't want to have that feeling. So we make sure they have everything. And if you talk about results, if you take last year, I think that's an year with a year we have been hit by the pandemic. Effectively, we had only 8 months to work. And if you take our results, the cumulative results on recoveries, that is better than the previous financial year. That is better than the previous financial year. And the benchmark, if you take the current year performance, is equivalent to the 2018 performance. In other words, that is one of the best financial years we had. So even with the pandemic, so we have gone up to this extent. I think this also the enhancement of the capacity and the solutions we have provided also helped a lot to them. So that's also there. So that's the story about it. And to sum it up, as I said, there will be challenges, there will be concerns. Don't worry about it. For us, it has been always execution, delivery, and EPS. So that's the whole story throughout. So thank you, everyone. Thanks for your time. Kazun, over to you.
Thank you, Hasitha, for sharing your success story with us. It was a very insightful presentation. And Kazun, I'll be taking over from you because we have our next session with Shashindu. So
Right.
Shashindu is ready to, yeah, Kasun, go ahead.
Yes, before that, I also need to say thank you to Hasitha. It was a very great story, how you all have done lots of things with Tableau. So yes, Buddhini.
Yeah, thank you, Kasun. So I think we have Shashindu with us, who will be ready to discuss how Tableau can make our lives easier. Shashindu?
Yeah, Buddhini, hi.
Hi. So to get an approach to our discussion, I think we also have a presentation ready, which we shared in a minute. So in the meantime, to take an approach to our discussion, Shashindu, as the title of your discussion said, can Tableau actually make our lives easier? Then in what ways?
Buddhini, your voice is breaking, Buddhini.
Can you hear me now? Shashindu, can you hear me now?
Okay, I missed. Buddhini, can you hear me? Because I got lost.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Yes, Shashindu, we can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Buddhini,
yeah.
I will give an answer for your question. But before that, thank you very much, Hasitha, for sharing your session. Actually, that will be very, like, it was a very good, it includes so many good points and will easy for me to actually carry about my presentation as well. So thank you very much for sharing your most valuable experience with us, Hasitha. So as I mentioned, Buddhini, let me go back to my screen. Right, so just share me.
Then I think we
Shashindu?
lost Shashindu. I think we lost
Again,
Shashindu.
yes.
Yes. So let's give him a few seconds to join again.
Yeah, sure.
Buddhini, till Shashindu connects again, shall we select someone from the Raffle Draw, and can we do that now? I think we can get
Sure.
this
Why
chance.
not?
Yes.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun.
So if Ganguly is ready with the Raffle Draw, we are all ready. And in the meantime, I'd like to remind again about our user group Facebook page and LinkedIn page. You can go ahead and join, share your thoughts on Tableau. And I think we have Shashindu back. Shashindu,
Yeah.
Oh
Really
yeah,
sorry.
we can hear you now. We were just going to go to the Raffle Draw, but then here
No,
you
no,
appear.
keep it at the end because this will be more interesting than that, I guess.
Right. So Shashindu, we can start your session. We can go through quickly. Yes.
I actually need to share my screen. So like, okay. Can you see the screen? Yeah.
Yes, Shashindu.
Yeah, like I said, Buddhini, I will answer to your question like this, right? So let's do like this. I will actually separate or divide all of you into mainly two groups, right? One group as the developers, then the other party as the analyst or the decision makers, right? So then what we'll do is let's identify the responsibilities and the challenges that they are experiencing daily basis in the practical environment. Then I guess that will be very easy for me to actually make you convenient or make yourself like feel comfortable with the topic that we are going to discuss today, which is like how Tableau will make your life easier. So plus I will add like this as well, how Tableau will make you a data enthusiast. So that will be very complete, I guess, because when it comes to the audience, I guess there are so many like the university students are also participating who is like about to go to the corporate world. So I assume that that will be a very complete topic. So let's go to the, okay, before that, just do like this, just tag yourself as either a developer or either as a decision maker. So then if you just think that you as a developer, so, okay. So if you think that you as a developer, so these will be, I guess, your responsibilities and the challenges that you're encountering daily. For example, if take the first point, it's requirement gathering, collecting data. Then you need to data cleaning and the data transformation. Then you need to build create your models. Then you need to prepare your dashboards, and finally you need to share the results with the business users, right? Then if you move into the other party, who is the decision makers or the analyst, so then what they have to do is like make effective business decisions and grow the business and discover more opportunities and manage the risk and regulatories. And if I take about the challenges that basically they are getting, so it's basically time consuming due to inefficient reports or dashboards, because they are like complaining, okay, this is not the dashboard that I'm looking for, those stuff. Then the lack of reliable data. And finally, like mostly they need the ad hoc analysis to like generalize their ideas and the analysis. So I believe those three will be main challenges that they are getting. So in that case, majority what in my experience, what normally business users are mostly depend on the IT people. So they need to stop at a certain given point, like because with the lack of skills, IT skills, so they need to depend on a particular IT guy. So what actually I want to do is like I want to see any organization to be driven on top of a like completely data driven culture. So, and as an individual, if you assume as an individual, I want to see each one as a data enthusiast. Like, so that is the entire idea that I want to express you today via my session. So, like, yeah. So in my session, I will assure you that even though that you think I'm talking to the business, if you tag you as analyst, so I'm talking to you. So if you still feel like, okay, those responsibilities, which is like cleansing data, creating model, preparing like dashboards, are not under my scope or under my umbrella. So those, because of I'm not sure about, I'm not confident about my IT skills and all. So I definitely need a IT person in order to cater that. So yes, of course you need the IT person, but what if that you can do all your analysis by yourself only, like having the very less dependency on the IT person, and do your analysis at anywhere, at any time, and to like make your analysis more accurate, more efficient, and to like generalize more your analysis further. So that will be great, I guess. So in this session, I will like teach you how easily that you can overcome these challenges and all. So enough talking. So let's go to Tableau. So I guess there are so many newcomers. So for them, so this will be Buddhini. I hope you can see the screen and everyone right there. Is it?
Yes, Shashindu, we can see your screen.
Yeah, okay, great. So this will be the icon for the Tableau. So okay, before that, yeah, I'll open. So before that, I have a question for you guys. So okay, in your opinion, or according to your knowledge or understanding, what kind of a tool is Tableau? So anyone from the audience? Because so far only the guests are speaking, so no one from the like attendee side. So anyone? No idea. Oh, okay. I will make you easier. Like, is it a ETL? Okay, no, forget about the word ETL. Is it a data cleansing tool, or is it a data transforming tool, or is it a data visualization tool, or is it a tool? It's a development tool. So what kind of a tool is that? Anyone from you?
We have
Okay.
someone answering through the chat box.
Okay, really great. Yeah. So tell me, Buddhini, what is he saying?
Yeah, so Sudarshan says it's a data analyzing tool.
Data analyzing tool. Okay, great. Okay, then I will.
Kalpani thinks the same. Sorry, she thinks it's a data visualizing tool.
Great to hear. So okay, I will walk you through a website, which is, you can simply Google Tableau Public. You can Google it, then you can find Tableau Public, right? Just have a look at it. So it's a free website. Actually, you can go, right? So majority are thinking that it is kind of a data visualization tool and data analyst. Okay, great. Here you can see, what do you see? So many charts, so many beautiful, elegant dashboards, right? So in that case, if one person said it's a data visualization, yeah, correct. To my experience, I would say this is the best visualization tool out there at the market. I can guarantee, right? I can tell you. But if is it only a data visualization tool? No, it's not. Because that's why I point out in Hasitha's sharing session, he talked about a lot about the BI word, and how he overcome his current challenges over the time after implementing Tableau. It's a very interesting story to hear, everyone. So like he said, I can tell you Tableau is not just a data visualization tool, but I mentioned it's clearly it's a #1 data visualization tool. Why I said that is, you can see, right, if you compare with your like other BI tools, or in your experience you might refer many statistical tool, and you have done some visualization based on that as well. But have you ever seen this kind of elegant and these kind of visuals as well? Because the beauty is that I want to highlight, it's not a typical data visualization tool. It's more than, it's beyond the visualization tool, because you can see it's not restricted to any particular template and all, right? So if you are creative, and if you're not Tableau, then actually you can do whatever you want in the terms of like visualization. That's where I will tell you. But if I refer to the Hasitha session, yes, this is a very solid. If you take the entire Tableau application, it's not only the desktop panel. If you take the Tableau ecosystem, it will deliver a complete, a solid BI experience for you. Okay, enough talking. So just meanwhile, you can just type Google and you can check on Tableau public. Yeah, let's go to Tableau. Yeah. Before prior to analyze anything, you need the data, right? So I have created a very nice, very like practical scenario for you. So let's go back to my data set and see what it looks like, right? So you can see I have several workbooks, Excel workbooks. Those are like orders central, east, and south, and orders west, quarter, some return, like return reasons, new kind of thing. And there's another folder called south. Let's go inside. Okay, there's a south other kind of thing. Okay, so this will be a very typical scenario for any developer, because there may be some different persons in different regions. So for example, like if you see that, if you take the central, there may be a specific person in central who is providing the data set for me. It's all about the central data. So likewise, each region, I'm getting the data, and not only that, there are some certain department who is providing me the targets. It's in the quota table, I guess. Then there may be some other department who is providing me like, okay, those are the return table, return data. I don't know. Let's go inside and check whether what kind of scenario is this. Like these are the return invoices or something like that. So I want to check what is the return to non-return ratio over the time, and whether my category is progressing or whether my region is progressing over time, something like that. So yeah, so I believe that this will be a very practical scenario. So okay, let's go. If I open the file, I will open one and I'll show you. Here you have order, shape, segment, poster, category, sales, gain, order, detail. It's purely, you can see by the data itself, because understanding data is a must prior to analyze anything. So if I give you, this is the typical, it's a sales scenario, I guess. So let's go to Tableau. And here, like Kasun mentioned, we are planning to have more sessions on the future as well. So I'm not going to take you in every and each features. So let's go, since what I show you is basically the Excel file. So let's go with the Excel file.
Shashindu, a newbie might question whether it is just Excel that we can connect through Tableau. So we just quickly tell them.
Yeah, better. Okay, I'll cancel it. You can see this is nothing but Tableau server, because as I mentioned you, it's not just a tool, it's a kind of a platform. So it's a separate one. So as a flat file, you can just connect Excel, text, JSON, and JSON is nothing but if you have semi-structured data, JSON, XML, the access, the PDF is a very nice one. It's like if you have a PDF with the table structure, then you can read, Tableau can read it in a very AI approach, then you can like identify this as a table. So spatial file is very powerful with the Tableau. With the spatial file means kind of a like maps. So statistical file, yeah, like SPSS, something like that. Then not only that, if you are coming from the corporate world, this is for you. If you are coming from the like university students who is basically deals with in the university stage, you are not dealing with the corporate databases, something like that. So your majority mainly based on the text files and like those files. But if you are a person who comes from the corporate world, here you have the list of like all the major databases, data sources that available at the market. So you can see. Bodhini, is it okay?
Thank you, Shashindu. Now that we can see how many more data we can get connected to. We'll quickly get on with the...
Yeah, with the time limitation, sorry, I couldn't show you all the features. So let's go back to the Excel file, but anytime you can ask anything, right? So let's, It's simple, like you browse, you just click, that's it. It'll give it time, okay, getting data to your server. Okay, here you have the file. Let's see whether how many like regions you have. No, I don't have region. Okay, I assume that this is a single region, right? So what I want is to like as analyst, what my requirement is to analyze and take all the files where I get from different regions, and I need to merge. I need to merge all. Then I need to present something. So just don't think if you tag, as I mentioned, if you tag yourself as a business like the analyst or the decision maker, don't think that this is not your responsibilities, right? Like don't think like that, because don't think those are very like complex, so very much like technical stuff, because I will show you, I will analyze you, I'll do the prepping part without using any code. So normally if you how you tag a person as a technical guy, if he like using like a black screen or a blue screen and he's doing some crazy coding stuff, then only you tag that person as a technical guy, right? But what if that you just drag and drop and just group, that's it, then can you tag him as a IT person? No, right? So that's the beauty in here. And meanwhile I'm doing my session, because you may have come from the different areas. If you are coming from basically a university stage, so you will compare the tools that you have used in there, and you can like compare, okay, if I get a challenge like this, how you going to overcome from your tool. So if you're coming from the corporate world, you can imagine if I show a certain challenge here, you can imagine how you're going to overcome this challenge that I going to show you with the BI tool that you are used for. Then that will be very easy for you to compare your existing practice versus the Tableau where I'm going to show you today. Then I think you will get a more feeling about the Tableau. So just do that with me. That will be very great. Then, so what I want is I want to incorporate all the regions, right? So I'm going to have a convert union. Union is nothing but, you have a data table first. Then what you have to do is union means union, and the append is similar. What you do union is you are just drop down the other sources on top, on bottom of the other. Likewise, you have a complete data set. So I'm going for that. I'm going to refer a wildcard option in Tableau, which is a very okay. What is wildcard? It's nothing but it's simple. If you have if you want a name starts with N, if think that you have normal, then you have something like, and it starts with N. Then if you what you're going to do is you type N. Then once you take, you will highlight all the words that it starts with N, right? So that's kind of a similar example for the wildcard. So as you can see in the wildcard, there are so many options. We'll go one by one whenever needed, right? For now, as long as I want to incorporate only the workbooks within that folder, and if you can see, right, there are so many sheets. But if I didn't express like orders to be incorporated, then what will happen is it will join this quarter and the number of regions to my model. But what I want is to incorporate only central region, orders from central, east, south, and west. That's it, not the quarter. But all are getting from the folder, which is like TUG 2021. So that's why I need to mention like this. Like I need to start with orders, then the rest of the thing, I don't mind whatever it has, but I need that workbooks to be starts with orders. So that's very simple. So let's okay. So meanwhile, just yeah, Buddhini?
Yeah, so by doing this, what you're doing is you are taking all the files which starts from orders and you're putting one on top of each other to create one large table, correct?
Correct. Yes, correct, you're smart. Yes. Okay, then what you have to do is then go to sheet 1, type region. Okay, type region, then check whether you are getting all. No, I have a null value. Maybe the reason is, I guess, east, south, west. You have east, but I'm pretty sure in the east sheet that you have, it doesn't contain the region, but it doesn't matter. Tableau will provide you, if you do any like union, Tableau will provide you a separate a column by default called sheets. Once I drag it here, yeah, you have, yeah, but the naming is kind of an odd, but that's okay. That's okay. You can do your, like, as I mentioned, this is very intuitive. So if you want to write like rename, just, it's very simple. Okay. So yeah, I'm good. So I incorporate all my regions, right? Then what I want is to analyze, just assume that I want to analyze my regional sales over time. So that means I need the year, then I need the region. I have it now. Then what I want is the sales. Then if someone says, okay, like what sales is not enough to analyze, so okay, I need to incorporate more values, measures. Okay, we'll do that as well, because my entire target is to like to show you how easily I can like do any ad hoc analysis that anyone is telling me, right? Without like without having very less dependency with ID paper. So that's what I want to show you. And okay, so next thing what I want is the order date. I just simply double click it. That's it. There you have it. Okay. Yeah, but you have an issue here. This ABC means that in this data model for central, you have the data for all the 4 years, but here you can see a strange here. South, there's only 2050 data is available. So that means if for South, some files are missing, right? So what I want is, just go back to my model. Before that, just go back to my data source here. Yeah, you can see there's another file, another folder inside my parent folder, which is tag 2021. There's an inside folder. Then let's south. Okay. Here. Now, did you notice that the earlier one, which I shared you in central, right? Though it contains only a single sheet, right? But here, the orders for South, the person who have sent me, what his practice is kind of a different approach rather than to the practice for like central and other regions. His practice is kind of, he's trying to maintain his like yearly sales within a single workbook, but with multiple sheets. So that's okay. That's okay. So I'm going to incorporate all my sheets into this one. Yes. Okay. So let's go back. Let's quickly. I will make my presentation a bit one. So what I want is to expand here. You have an option to expand up to subfolders. Then what I want is, as I see, here you have South and you have a target. So again, I need to address, I need the word start from order. So let's quickly go orders, something like that. That's my stuff. Okay. Orders, then I click on it. Okay, great. Okay, we'll see whether I got, whether the Tableau read those figures as well. Okay, let's quickly go. Yeah, there you have it. There you have it, but there's an issue. What? You have different, but what I want is to merge all these things. So how I'm going to do this? Just do this, click, then I have group, right? Okay, great. So I'm again renaming South. Right, great. So I have all the data. So let's find my sales. Okay, now I have again an issue, because you can see by the icon, because Tableau is a visual analytics tool, it gives you like sorry for speed up because I think I have a very short time. So you can see if you take the sales in front of that, the icon is ABC, which is it represent you the sales is not a like an integer to be sum up to do any aggregation. So I believe there's an issue with the sales. So let's quickly go and check what's the issue in here. Because in order to analyze sales, I need to see this sales data type as an integer or a float. So if I there you have the issue, right? So if you again want to like figure it out from which source this issue is coming from, what you have to do is simple, because this is, you can see this is a very, very powerful self-discovery tool. You can ask continuous questions from this tool and you can find the answers. That's the beauty. And like Hasitha mentioned, this is the easiest and very much intuitive tool that you can find. So I couldn't still find the USD from which sheet that it comes from. There you have. Now you figure it out. The issue is with the orders is table. So it doesn't matter. I don't need to change from the source table. I don't mind. So what I'm going to quickly do is I'm going to sales and I'm going to make a calculated column. No code. As I promised you, I'm not using any code. So I'm going to use a custom split. So it's basically the USD. I want to remove that part. So I want to keep only the numbers or whatever the characters after the USD. So it's good. So here it creates a new one. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to a decimal. Let's convert a decimal. Then okay, give it some time. Okay, then what I want to see it as a measure will do. Okay, now you can see, right? If you see any like hash sign, that means you can do your aggregation. So let's quickly go, because what else is, if I'll show you that part. If I drag sales here, I don't know what will happen, whether my machine will be stuck or not. There you can see this is not actually what you want, right? Okay, let's remove it. Let's drag it this one. Yeah, that's the beauty. This is the analysis that you want, right? But this is not very attractive, right? What you did is basically some kind of a data transformation part, right? As I mentioned, yeah. If you try to do this via a different BI tool or via a different tool, of course, you might feel okay. This is a highly technical stuff. But the things that I do from here, I don't think that you feel like technical stuff. So that's okay. Then what I want is to incorporate profit. Yeah. So let's incorporate profit here. Yeah. Okay. Let's give it a name for my sales split as total sales. Sales, right? Or sales, but profit. Then you can see the profit is missing in the central region. So why is that? What you did is you union all the things. Then you might wonder. Then definitely in central, that profit field is not goes under the name by the name profit. So let's check. Yeah. If you find a synonym, yeah, you will get gain, right? So what you want is you need to merge gain column as well as the profit column, and you need to maintain a single column out of those two columns. So how we're going to do is, so you can see all I'm going to do in ad hoc way. Yeah. So what you have to do is just click these two, right click, transform, merge. That's it. So I'm okay. Profit now. My wait till time. Okay, now I don't need this one. I'm going to delete this because it gives me, okay, what is it says? The field profit does not exist in the data. Okay, fine. I don't need it. Let's give it a name, the proper name, profit, right? Let's do this. Yeah, there you have. So I think you saw how many challenges that you got. in order to come to this stage? How many challenges? So, but you sorted all challenges with a like drag and drop and just merge, that's it, split, that's it, without any code. So that's the beauty. So, okay, then what so if I ask you to like take a decision based on this, can anyone take a decision out of this? No, right? No. Yeah, you can. Here you can see the only profit, the unprofitable category, the region is what? South, but that is also in 2018. But did you notice that you have to spend so much of time to get that insight out of that? But what my target is to like give you that insight in a very lesser time. So what I'm going to do is, there I have my templates, but those are just some default templates. I don't like rely on those templates, because I clearly mentioned, right, if you have something in your mind, then you can create it. Okay, this makes more sense, I guess, right? So now you can clearly see this. Here you have the issue. Then if you want to further expand this, like your category, if your product category, just type the way you want, or the way any place. Just there you have a more clear idea about. Now you can say, okay, each region wise for the categories, how it behaves over time. It's a very like sharp, like it gives you a proper idea about your business, how is your regional business is going on over the time. And if you feel like, okay, if you don't like this to be see as a what do you say, as a line, as a bar chart, if you want to see as a line chart, it's a simple click. It's a simple click. And if like there are many customization, but with the lack of time, I'm not going to do this, but let's go to a different one. Just assume that you have another file.
Shashindu, sorry to be disturbing you. We have around 4 minutes left because we are running. We've already run out of time.
Yeah, sure. Let me show how you like. If you have, 4 minutes. Yeah, okay, fine.
Shashindu, let's try to give them now anyway. For us to show something big, we need to have a lot of time. So what we'll do is let's conclude this, and anyway they can join a group and everything. So if anybody has questions to ask from Shashindu, you all can go and post something. So we will be definitely helping you out, and we will show you something interesting in some other event as well. So Shashindu, if you can give them some message, and end of the session would be nice.
Correct. Yeah, that's fine. Because I plan something more, but that's okay. The lack of time. Yes, so I hope all of you like enjoy what I did, like with the no code approach kind of a thing. I hope it was a kind of an interesting one for you, and because as I mentioned, I want you to become like a data enthusiast. So that's the entire idea about this. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Yes. Budhini, over to you.
Thank you, Shashindu. That was a very interactive session. I think we will quickly move on to our raffle draw because we've already exceeded the time that we were supposed to have this. Ganguly? Yeah, so one lucky winner will be walking away with a free e-learning pass.
Yeah, so how we are going to do is we have this platform. This is basically we have put all the registered names here, and then it will select one of the names as the winner. So if you are there, please drop us a message in the chat. So then we know you are still here. So if not, if we didn't get a message, we will do it again. So let's start. Kavindya Fernando. Do we have Kavindya Fernando here? I think she's not there. Can we spin it again? Sanjay. Right. I think Sanjay is also not here for now. Let's try to spin it once again, and maybe we can contact them. Okay. Right. So we will be giving the license to Anushka, and congratulations for that, Anushka. So basically, we can conclude today's session, and I hope you all you got something out of this session, and from the business perspective or an analyst perspective. So thank you so much for joining us today, and I would like to actually thank Caroline, Hasitha, and Shashindu for the wonderful sessions that they have done, and those were very informative, and I actually believe we had much more time to go through with Shashindu to take you through the technical session. But anyway, if you have any questions, please go and have a start a communication or start a conversation on our group, our Facebook group, so we can communicate there. And then I want to especially thanks to Buddhini and Ganguly for conducting this session. So Ganguly is the one who actually managed everything online, and for Buddhini to moderate this. So thank you so much, guys. This is my team. So with that, I would like to conclude today's session, and let's start discussions on our group. So everyone, stay safe. Have a good evening.